got you on the podcast finally.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How's life?
Life's great, man. How's life with you?
Everything's good, man. Just evolving,
That's good, man. That's good. That's good.
trying to find that peaceful nature, that blissful nature, you know.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So a lot of interesting stuff. Thanks for jumping on the DKP. This is your first time on the pod.
Amen.
For those for those who don't know, me and Henry go way back. I think it's 10, 11 years. 11 years now.
Yeah. Yeah. In film school.
Exactly.
Way
So
back. Yeah.
so we met at film school. We both had prodigious visions of being filmmakers and writing, directing. And then from there, we started Sinopia Films,
Yes,
which is
sir.
geared towards music and entertainment. And for a while there, we had a pretty successful business. I remember
We was filming videos, directing it.
filming videos, directing, editing. And
Yep.
there was a point where we were making some pretty good money. And there was that one time where you came and got me out of class. You like knocked on the door. It's like
Yeah.
a writing class, I think it was.
Yep.
And you handed me like $400. You're like, yeah, so this deal went through. And everybody's looking at me like, what do you do? Like, I'm broke and you guys are over here. We're trying to get through this school.
You know what I mean?
You guys jumped ahead. You guys already.
Man.
So what it was getting our noses dirty, getting in the streets, meeting artists, a lot of artists we didn't like, but we put that aside just because we knew
We like that money though.
exactly. We made a lot of good content. Sinopia Films was a great thing as it was going. And now we're just kind of evolving into other stuff, but that's how me and Henry met. And Henry, if you want to kind of give let them know your introduction.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Drew, man, like, man, we're going. Yeah, I remember in film school, Drew would help me write stories and stuff like that. One of your old stories we just did in Raw Island. We shot it in Raw Island, Massachusetts. Well, the guy he altered the script a little bit. You know, we shot eventually. I think it should be out here anytime soon, but I don't know when they're going to release it because those guys, I don't know. We kind of fell off during the filming process because I'm straight. You know, when you have film school knowledge and dealing with other people, you tend to try to bring that knowledge on board. And being from Liberia, you know what I mean? People sometimes don't listen to you. They think they know it all. You know what I'm saying? So that was like the clashes on set because I was trying to show them the way I know it. Because if you, I think Colorado Film School is one of like the top 25th film school in the world. You know what I'm saying? Graduating from there and interacting with your people and stuff like that, bro. Like, it's like sometimes your people don't listen. They act like they know it all. So I was trying to like, hey, listen. You know what I mean? And it create problems. So yeah, but like we go way back, bro. Like we go way back to film school days. I think it was like 2000, man, like way back 2011.
2010.
Yeah. I remember Drew writing stories. I remember acting in it, like Sales Guys. Remember Sales Guys?
Mhm.
Yeah, man. Now we getting on older stuff. But like Sales Guys was great, bro. Like I remember when we filmed that scene, one scene with you and Michael. It felt like you guys were in California, bro. Like the way we shot that scene. And every time I go back and watch it, I'm like, is that California? But that's the great thing about film, bro. It's like you can blow people's minds, you know, just by telling stories. Like great stories, yeah.
It's a magic trick for sure. The Man Who Lost His Soul, I wrote that, and
Yes.
I kind of knew you a little bit.
Yes.
And I decided, let me get you in this film, and we went and shot it over the course of a week, maybe. And I think the magic happened in the editing room.
That's
I
right.
started putting together different things, L cuts, J cuts.
With
Really
Mandy do commercials now. She do TV commercials. Yeah. I think she's doing big. Last time she sung on like I think it was like a soccer game or Super Bowl, some kind of thing. She did her thing, man. I'm proud of her. I'm really proud of her. Yeah, she's doing good. But that Man Who Lost His Soul, I was struggling how to pronounce Veronica. I was still in that. It was like, how should I? but like the character that I was playing, the man who lost his soul, he's kind of like a confused guy. So it all made made sense and tied in. Yeah, yeah, it all made sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we started, and then we started making music videos for artists. Did a couple short films together here and there. I was doing music, you were doing music, so we had a lot of creative outlets. Now, as we get older, I think it's important to really hone in on that,
That's so true, man. That's so
because
true.
a lot of things people don't talk about. We have like a monkey brain, right? It just keeps talking, talking, talking. The ones that can control it as they get older really have control. I
Yeah,
think when we're younger, we don't really realize that. We have a computer right here, and
yeah,
nobody tells us there's no manual to this computer.
yeah.
And so as we get older, meditation, creative projects, writing, those are very
Even
important.
even traveling too, bro. Like I remember when I started traveling, and when I went to Thailand, and Philippines, then Hong Kong and Japan, I came back to the United States. I was like, I need to create something. We need to bring the world together. Came back, boom, Egna Records.
Mhm.
My first artist was Genesi, but that's another story. But we still going, man. You know what I mean? We still going, and I'm hoping here soon that I have like a 3-year goal. 3-year goal is to have like a studio in the Philippines for my artists. You know what I mean? And afterwards, we're gonna branch out to Liberia, then like Thailand. I'm just trying to take over the world with my ideas, because it's all right ideas, bro.
Mhm.
Ideas change the world. Yep.
They do. Yeah, ideas change the world. Look at Elon Musk.
Yes.
A couple years ago, I mean, you could walk around the streets and most people wouldn't know who Elon Musk is. Fast forward to
African brother.
2021, he's the richest man in the world.
Yep. Yep. That's South African brother created Tesla, and now people trying to drive Tesla. A guy
Yeah,
from South Africa, dude, who knew he was gonna blow up? You know what I mean? It's just ideas, man. It changed the world.
it really does. I want to backtrack on your beginnings. So you came to America
In
after
fifth grade.
in fifth grade, and a lot of people don't know kind of the crazy stuff,
Yeah.
the tragedies in Liberia that kind of forced that country to have its citizens flee and go to different parts of the world.
Bro, yeah.
If you want to kind of elaborate on that.
Sure, yeah, sure, man. Liberia was funded by Black Americans. So in Liberia, there are three ethnicity, right? But most people don't know that. They just see the African continent as, oh, they are Africans. But Liberia is so unique in the sense that Liberia is also American, right? And Liberia is also Caribbean. So there are two groups that funded Liberia. African American population from the South and Eastern part of the United States, and folks from the Caribbean. They immigrated to Liberia. Liberia was like a go back to Africa kind of movement, right? But things that people don't know. That's what sometimes I see Republicans talk about Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was not a great guy in a sense. You know what I mean? Abraham Lincoln actually helped fund Liberia along with James Monroe. He felt like the Negroes were inferior to their masters. So he's like, in order to reduce the Negro population in America, for them to not uprise, right? Like they're seeing the uprising in Haiti and the uprising in all their countries in the Caribbean that is closest to America. So they're like, let's send these guys back to Panama. And Panamanian government at the time, they're like, don't send them over here. We got our own problems. You know what I mean? We deal with our own problem in Panama. We cannot send them to Panama. So James Monroe, which of course the capital Monrovia, Liberia capital, is named after him. James Monroe was like, let's purchase a land on the west coast of Africa. At the time, Liberia was called Green Coast, right? And the Portuguese used to call it the Macagila Coast, some kind of pepper coast. And so James Monroe purchased that land for Black Americans. Another thing that people don't know, most Americans don't know, there was a president of Liberia. His name was Tubman. He goes back to Harriet Tubman. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But people don't know that. That's how deep Liberia in America. They had this deep history, bro. But you'll never hear Washington talking about Liberia, because I don't know if the interest not there. I don't know. But Liberia in America goes way, way back. So let's get to that. I'll get to how I came to America. So Liberia was started by Black Americans, and a few folks here from the Caribbean, I went there to Liberia. But when they went there, they met the native. Right? Some folks ask me why your name is not Tunde or Tongbe or or Macagila or something like that. the reason why my name is not Tungwe or Tunde is because that the blacks that went up to Liberia, my father, he was a native Liberian. He had a label of African American family and adopted their name. The name Henry Johnson came from the South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So he lived with the Americo-Liberians. In Liberia, they're called Americo-Liberian, meaning African American descent or people of African American descent.
Yeah.
They still hold that title in Liberia. There are not too many in Liberia, but there used to be a lot, but not too many. Because so there are not too many. So let's forward. The reason why Liberia now, but before, did you know that Liberia used to be richer than Japan in the 50s? Under this guy called Tubman, the president of Liberia, he's like the country Liberia used to be way richer than Japan, right? Well, let's backtrack. Liberia's first president, you know I love my history, brother.
I do too. I do too.
You know what I mean? Liberia's first president was born in Norfolk, Virginia. Okay. He was, you know, people talk about Barack Obama was the first black president. People don't know their history. Joseph Jenkins Roberts was the first black president from the United States that ruled an African nation called Liberia. It was not Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? People like to skip history because they don't know history.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah, we can get into all of that. I'll jump into that for sure because there's a lot of misconceptions floating around.
It's so crazy, man. And now they're calling Barack Obama a black president. How is he black? If we want to stop this idea of racism, we need to call things for what it is. Barack Obama is a biracial president. He's not African American. Mm-hmm. If we say African American, we are denying the race of his mother. So that is within his context. That's racism against his mom.
Sure.
Because we're like, oh, his mom don't matter. His dad is African, so he's African American. You know what I'm saying? But also, United States history give that a face. That back in those days, if you were 1% black, that means you were black. The Negro, it is called the one drop rule. So that they're still living on that rule, and it's sad. It's sad. It's really sad. So let's backtrack to Liberia history.
Yeah. So we'll jump into a lot of those things right there, like Barack Obama, first black president from America. Jackie Robinson wasn't exactly the first black player in Major League Baseball. If you really dive back into it. A lot of guys would paint their face or they would be kind of mixed and they would be let in the lineup. So he's the first official guy in the history books, but there's many black players before.
That's
Jackie
true,
Robinson.
Man. Like you, a U.S. historian like to skip stuff. It's kind of weird. And the reason why, I'm going to tell you another thing again. The reason why you will never hear U.S. historian talking much about Liberia, because when you talk much about Liberia, then Abraham Lincoln becomes this racist figure, because they've managed to sell this idea that Abraham Lincoln was a liberator of black folks. You know what I mean? So
I don't think he was meaning to be racist. I think he just was born in Kentucky and was in Illinois, and back then, maybe he was less racist than other people, but it's kind of interwoven into his DNA, and just racism in general, it's tribal. You have the Neanderthals and the humans, and there's a darker shade, there's a lighter shade. It's always hey,
so true.
Just like Genghis Khan, if you're going to be in my tribe, you look different than me, so I'm going to kill you. It's not exactly just skin color, it's tribes. It's this tribe might hate this tribe, and so now there's conflict. That's and true. Americans are so backwards to begin with. With Columbus, he the furthest he stepped was Haiti, and we have Columbus, Ohio, Columbia, and I'm the first European to come here. But if you backtrack 12,000 years, there's Africans in Mexico. There's Africans in America. This was not a new thing. We just the history books just had to stamp some kind of name on it, and Columbus was that name.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. And also, what you were saying before the blacks got to Liberia, within the native Liberian sector, tribe, right? They were killing each other. You know what I mean? I read this book called the joining to Musardu. It talks about these two African American brothers. So this is a movie I want to do, bro. If I get some money, talk about these two African American guys who are traveling the interior part of Liberia, and while they're traveling, they're interacting with these tribal folks, like tribes and stuff like that, and they come to realize that the tribes among themselves they didn't like each other. They're killing each other and hating each other, and I think the remedy for that, they're trying to create this Christianized nation. So they're like, let's go Christianize these this African. So the American blacks that went to Liberia, they took Americanism, American ideology, we could tie into republicanism. We have to Christianize these African folks, and that in the long run created a problem. Liberia went from being one of the richest countries in the world to one of the poorest because of injustice, the injustice from the Black Americans that we're ruling the country.
Yeah,
and this is the history that people don't want to talk about. They shy away from it.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. And do you know about the Olmecs?
Yeah,
that name. So they have the big statues, and that their features are African.
Yes,
and those trace to South America, Mexico. Yep. This traces back 20,000 years ago, and also Asians came across the Bering Strait up through Alaska down to America. That's how we get a lot of these. You put a Native American face next to somebody from North Asia, like Siberia, very close related DNA. But what people in America think is America is white, and it came from white, and it's just so messed up because really
everyone,
you could date back to Egyptians coming to America and cocaine somehow getting from America to Africa, which it's native to America. So there's a lot of stuff people don't know. There was blacks here before the slave trade trading their own slaves.
Wow.
And people think the slave trade is about race. It's about money. It was a commerce. It's economics. And
I think that created capitalism as well. Yeah, capitalism. Yeah,
what can you do for me that I don't want to do myself? Like Thomas Jefferson. I got these peanuts out here. Somebody's got to pick them. What's the most economic way for these peanuts to get picked? You know what I'm saying?
Get someone to pick it because I might be doing same. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And what you're saying about like the blacks in Mexico, and when the Spaniards brought the blacks, one thing that Mexican government will talk about, there are blacks in Mexico, right? Those blacks been there for 500 years, like the African American in America, right?
They've been there for thousands of years, man. Thousands.
Yeah, they actually helped establish Mexico. There's this guy called Gaspar L. Yanga. He's the first Mexican national hero. And your boy Vicente Guerrero. Vicente Guerrero was part Spaniards, West African, and Filipino. Ask me why he was Filipino.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the Philippines are saturated with Hispanic heritage too.
Yeah, so because the Filipinos and the Mexicans, they used to trade, and through that cross trade, that's how your boy Vicente Guerrero came about. But he was a dictator in Mexico, and they killed him. He was the first. Back in those days, they used to go with the 1% rule, right? The one drop rule. The one drop rule is like it states when your father is black, you're black, even if you look like a white person. But Vicente Guerrero, he was a dictator in Mexico, bro, and they got rid of him. But he was the first black president in the Americas. First black president in America, Mexico, yeah. And the first black president in a free state was Liberia, Roberts.
1847, correct? That's
when Liberia. So that's when Liberia declared itself free. So Liberia and Ethiopia are the only country in Africa that were not colonized by Europeans.
True. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when the blacks went to Liberia, United States, Washington, right? They neglected Liberia for 20 years after they sent those black folks back to Liberia. Abraham Lincoln neglected those folks for 20 years. They didn't care about them. No. Even when England petitioned the U.S. government to do something about those black Americans, he said, hell no. You know what I mean? So Liberia found itself between being colonized by, after they left slavery, they found itself between being colonized by British, and French. So they're in this like they're in this battle for life, battle for existence. So the British came to Liberia's rescue. They're like, guess what? We gonna give you guys some guns and money to battle slavery off your coast. Because when the Black American went to Liberia, there was still slavery going on, and the crew people, the Pella people, they were being sold into slavery. That's how you see Oprah Winfrey when she did her background. She's Pella. Maybe that's my cousin. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Maybe that's my distant cousin because I'm from the Pella tribe. Yeah.
It's so crazy that at one point we were all together on one continent, right?
Yeah.
And hundreds of thousands of years go by. People go from Africa. They walk across ice and they go to cold temperatures. There's no vitamin D. Their skin gets pale.
Yep.
And then thousands of years later, they see each other again. And you would think, okay, a white guy seeing a black person in a tribe.
Yeah.
Would say, hey, this is an ancient person. There's so much wisdom. There's so many things we can learn from these people that we are related to. We traveled up here. You would think they would come up to him and be like, this is an ancient person. We need to, take care of these people. Instead, they capture them and they kill them. It's just it's so messed up.
It is.
That's humans in a nutshell, man.
And that's why I like what Dr. King said, bro. He said the content of a man's character speaks louder than the man's race. Because there are evil in all races. Black people are racist. White people are racist. Asian people are racist as well.
Sure.
Arabs are racist. Racism is a man's thing to be racist. And within the tribes in Africa, there are certain tribes that don't like each other. They kill each other every day as we speak. You know what I'm saying? So race, I think in America, it becomes a color thing. You know what I mean? Because in this country, it's all about black and white. It's not about the man's character. It's about the man's race first. There are the reason, if I was teaching U.S. history, I would put in there that there were white folks marching with Dr. King. There were Asian folks marching with Dr. King.
Yeah, tons. And they don't get the credit. Even in the Civil War, if you were to ask most people, they would say, I don't like slavery. So we're dealing with a small portion of Southern landowners who say, no, we need slavery. Even soldiers in the South, the rebels.
Yeah.
Half of them didn't even know what they're fighting for. They just literally showed up and what are we fighting for? It's for real. Because they took advantage of those poor white folks too. The landowners. So yeah. But let's backtrack real quick. We kind of got off topic, but it's great. People will love it. Yeah. So the genocide in Liberia, this happened early 90s, mid 90s.
So Liberia went through a phase, right? So after the African American who were the elite in Liberia, in order to get to where in order for us to get to where Liberia went wrong, is for us to understand a little bit of Liberia history. So after all these African American presidents from Roberts down, they were all Black Americans born in America or became president of Liberia, all of them. So down to Tubman parents came from Atlanta, Georgia, but they came from like the Maryland plantation where Harriet Tubman was born. That's where Tubman and his clan came from and went to Liberia. So they're related to Harriet Tubman. Now, I mean, if I was a U.S. government, I would develop Liberia. let's just keep on going. But Harriet Tubman was born in Maryland County, Liberia. So in Liberia, we have Mississippi, we have Virginia, we have Maryland. You know, that people don't talk about. We have Caldwell. All those names came from American South and American East. You know what I'm saying? So the blacks that went to Liberia, they took those names. So Tubman was born in one of those settlements in Maryland County. So when Tubman became president of Liberia, he said he's called the Morton father of Liberia for a reason, because before he was president, he was a senator, right? So when he was a senator of I think of Maryland County or something. When he was don't quote me on this, but I think when he was a senator in Liberia, he was also a lawyer. So before, there was this name called the United Nations. It used to be called the League of Nations, and the League of Nations was funded by Liberia, the United States, and other countries. So when Tubman was senator and a young lawyer, Liberia was put on trial for for slavery against the native folks, like the African American would, conducting slave labor. You know what I mean? With the native Liberians. When they went there, they took that American system, the same system from the South, the master mentality. So
the African American descendants.
Yes, they took that.
That's so ironic. Mentality. That's so ironic.
Yes, and they were supported by the U.S. government. Man. They took that master mentality. So Liberia was sued by the League of Nations, which is now the UN, right? So here comes young Tubman, who's a lawyer. You have to go defend Liberia at the UN. And guess what? That was his first, I think one of his first cases he lost. You know what I'm saying? So when he returned to Liberia, he was like, you know what? I need to run to become president. And when he ran and became president, and when he took power, he was like, you know what he said? He said, the African Liberians and the American Liberians, which is African American descent, and the Caribbean Liberians, we are all the same. We are Black folks. Why are we killing each other? Why are we hating each other? Y'all come together. That's why from there, they called Tubman the modern father of Liberia, because he brought the country together. And when he brought the country together, he created something called the open door policy, right? The open door policy was based on working with, I'm friends with everyone. I'm friends with England. I'm friends with everyone. Anyone can come in and invest in Liberia. So under Tubman, Liberia's economy was growing rapidly. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Tubman was a dictator, man. And which, of course, at that time, bro, it makes sense. Because that's what all African leaders were doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You had Tubman in Liberia, and you had Tubman, and you have Idi Amin in the other country. Man,
well, don't even get started on that guy.
But
I mean, if we're talking about the worst dictator of all time.
Here's a good thing about Tubman. Tubman was one of the most respected African presidents of all time. You know what? You know why he was respected? Tubman fought for Ghana's independence from the British. He set table with Kwame Nkrumah to sit down with the British to negotiate Ghana's independence. So Liberia had been fighting for these other African countries' independence for a very long time. Mm-hmm. But now these African countries are free. They don't give Liberia credit. They don't. But Liberia fought for Ghana independence. Liberia educated Nigerian first president. We sent him to the United States to go to school. And we also negotiate their independence in Nigeria from the British on the Tubman, bro. So Tubman became president for 27 years. He ruled Liberia. While he was there, bro, he did a lot of great things. But given this idea that were created by, I'm American Liberian, I'm better than you, the African Liberian, he's not giving credit because of what the system they created, like the elitism versus those native people and stuff, So he's not giving that much credit. But Tubman should be given credit. Without Tubman, Liberia would not even be on the world stage. You know what I mean? Because Tubman took Liberia from being a beggar. Like when Tubman was president, bro, I think Liberia account was like $100,000, and he raised that. He raised that up to like millions. And in the 50s, Liberia was richer than Japan under Tubman. So when Tubman died, but Tubman was a dictator. He didn't like opposition. So Tubman, he didn't encourage no opposition or anything. So during Tubman era, bro, there was this guy called Porte. Porte was from Barbados. Porte family came from Barbados. They went to Liberia. That's why you see Liberians, we don't talk like Nigerian, or I don't understand. We don't talk like that. We talk more like Black American or Caribbean, right? Liberian English, it came from Barbados. Like it's mixed with Barbados and with a little crude twang.
I can see that. Yeah.
It's called Colloquat. So it's mixed, it's a African American dialect.
Yeah. So then you came here in what year?
I came here 2002, bro, 5th grade.
Okay, so the late 90s was massive genocide. Where
I'm gonna get there. Yeah. So Tubman, when Tubman died in England. I think he died from cancer. The dude was a big town boy, man. Like in Liberia, called him big shot. Man, this guy just smoked cigar, had a party. You know what I mean? Okay. But he didn't let that party distract him. He had stuff, he got stuff done. But under Tubman, a lot of African Americans used to go to Liberia. Nina Simone was in Liberia singing. You know what I'm saying? And under Tubman, a lot of great things happened. A lot of African countries used to look up to Liberia under Tubman. because Tubman created this organization that blew up into African Unity. And now it's called African Unity. But Tubman was the guy. This is called like the father of Africa. He brought the guys together and they created economic, I think ECOWAS. And ECOWAS help. They help when there's a war in African countries. They go there and stop those wars. But all those ideology, bro, like the Pan-Africanism, right? All those black ideology, it was thriving in Liberia. Pan-Africanism came from Bladden, a black guy called Bladden from Barbados. And Malcolm X took that mentality. He's like, okay, I can build on this. But it came from Liberia too. So let's get to why Liberia is why I came here. So when Tubman died, Tolbert became president. And when Tolbert became president, Tolbert mentality, Tolbert was also African American descent. I think they came from like South Carolina, African American descent. But Tolbert was the vice president under Tubman. So Tolbert said, guess what? I'm going to make sure, since Tubman created this idea that we all can work together, the native Liberians, the African Liberians, and the American Liberians, since he created this idea that we all can work together, guess what? I'm going to give the native Liberian a little bit autonomy, that they can create their own party, that they can oppose my government anyway, anyhow. Democracy kind of idea. You know, Tubman was loved by the Americans. Tolbert came and built on that open door policy and started furthering Liberia's wing. And he created this thing called Liberianism, that Liberia should grow its own food. Liberia should support it. Liberia should use its own resources to support Liberia's economy, right? And when Tolbert came to America, because they used to have this thing back in the days, they used to invite Liberia's presidents to the United States to give speech in Congress, like a puppet kind of thing. Oh, here comes another puppet, right? They'll invite Liberia's president to give speech to Congress. So after Tubman passed away, after all these things I'm saying, you can Google it. Google Tubman in America. You will see he was like they used to love him. JFK loved Tubman. FDR loved Tubman. Eleanor was giving Tubman a hug. He was a big boy. You know what I mean? Balling. So when Tubman died, Tubman took over. Tubman said, we're going to change the playing field up a little bit. He said, we're going to give more autonomy to the native Liberian. We're going to make sure they have their own party. Right? We're not going to be that harsh on the native Liberian. By the same time, we're going to be a little bit straight on certain things, right? So Tolbert became president, and he encouraged he encouraged oppositions, and these opposition leaders were from the native boys, right? My uncle was part of that group. That's my uncle. So my uncle part of that group. My uncle and this guy called Bacchus Matthew. Bacchus Matthew. I think Bacchus Matthew was from like the Bassa tribe. He's a Bassa guy. They created this group that started a rice riot in Liberia. And being that Tolbert was weak, he couldn't crush that riot, right? And one thing led to the next, right? But let's backtrack a little bit. So when Tolbert came to America, Tolbert gave a speech in Congress, and he talked about how it was unjust for the United States to support apartheid. You know what I'm saying? And back in those days, if you were a wise black man, even now, if you're a wise black brother, they try to get rid of you. So when Tolbert came and talked about those things to Congress, because they thought he was going to come and give like a puppet speech, like other African leaders. Oh, I want to work with you. But Tolbert was not like that, because Tolbert was heavily criticized by the African American community over here, being that he was a leader of the African American World Baptist Church, and he was also president of Liberia. So he had to set example, like Dr. King, and he's seen the struggle of Dr. King. So you had to set example. So he was not more about foreign policy. He was more about rights for black folks all around the world. So when Tolbert came to America and gave a speech in Congress, Lyndon B. Johnson didn't like that. And in Tolbert's speech, Tolbert said, the United States is unjust. They cannot support apartheid in South Africa. They need to support Mandela. You know what I'm saying? And under Tolbert, Nelson Mandela, here's the thing that most people don't know. Liberia have helped a lot of African countries, but African countries have not helped Liberia that much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So under Tolbert, Nelson Mandela used to fly on the Liberia's passport, which is illegal. But Nelson Mandela used to use Liberia's passport, come to Liberia and live there. When he caused trouble in South Africa, fly to Liberia, and they give him Liberia's passport. Because back then, Liberia's passport was one of the most powerful passports in the world. You know what I'm saying? So when Tolbert gave that speech, they didn't like that speech. Congress didn't even clap for him. Lyndon B. Johnson was like, this guy is a troublemaker. He's not like Taubman. He's not like Tubman. This guy is different. Because Tubman was more about foreign policy. But historian would say, Liberian historian would say Tubman was more about, he was a puppet. But he was more about foreign policy. He didn't care about all the politics or what's going on with Dr. King or what's going on with Malcolm X. He didn't care about that. He was more about foreign policy. But Tauber was more about equal rights. Because Tauber was part of this group in Africa that were gearing towards fighting for independence, like independent states in various sectors, like in Nigeria and other places, right? So when Tauber gave that speech, they were uncomfortable with him. They were very uncomfortable with him in Congress. So when he returned to Liberia, Guinean president, because Liberia is bordered by Guinea, Ivory Coast, and Sierra Leone. The Guinean president called him up according to what I read, because I don't read what it posts online. I do a lot of research. The Guinean president called him up. He was like, Tolbert, they're gonna get rid of you. They're gonna kill you, bro. They're gonna get rid of you, right? So we don't know what happened. But when you check online, it said Dole killed Tolbert, but I can't elaborate what happened to Tolbert. But from there, when Tolbert returned, few months later, he got according to what they post on Google. The cover up that got on Google, they say it was Dole, a native Liberian that killed him. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what it got on Google. So when Dole, and one of the reasons why they even coined that story like that, because the system that the blacks set up, Tubman and Tolbert could not break that legacy of unjust behaviors. They tried by bringing the folks together, but that it was a pot on the fire that was boiling among the native, that they wanted revenge. So gotcha. Dole took power. Yeah, Dole took power and broke the camel's back. And Dole became president. He was the first native Liberian president. He was an 8th grader, bro. Would you ever give your country over to an 8th grader? If you think Trump was worse, Dole was worse. So Dole started, according to what they put online, Dole started a coup d'etat. And Dole was in the army. Dole was like a bodyguard to Tolbert. He was a native boy in the Liberian army. He was like a bodyguard, one of like the mansion guard. You know, like the White House, like a White House kind of guard.
Okay, Secret Service.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And so it's just like it's like Julius Caesar then, Mark Antony, just turning around and putting the knife in him.
Like that. Yep. But that's what they wrote online.
Or Brutus, sorry, my bad. Brutus and Caesar.
Caesar, yeah. But that's what I wrote online. If you read that, those started a coup d'etat and stuff like that. But there's a lot of conspiracies that happened to Tolbert. Because Tolbert was talking, he was talking too much, man. And you know, back in those days, and when you were a brother like Malcolm X and Dr. King, they silenced all those guys. For Malcolm X to use his own black brother, pop. For Dr. King, they silenced those guys. And if I was from what happened in Liberia, right? Giving Liberia history and giving Tolbert's history, talking about rights, I think they also silenced him as well. But being that Dole, the native Liberian guy, he was not that smart and not that educated to see certain things and was greedy for power. They say, oh, yeah, it's power. Now you can be president. That's how Liberia.
And he divided and conquered.
Yep. That's what people do, man. So Dole became president in order for Dole to bring the country together. Dole started doing genocide, started killing up all the tribes. You know what I mean? Dole was killing up all the tribes. People that disagree with him, he was killing his own native folks. You know what I mean? And when Dole became president, my father and his brother was working in Dole's armies. You know what I mean? And but Liberia's a very small place. So when Dole was president, right, Charles Taylor was working for Dole. And Charles Taylor is of American-Liberian descent and also native. Charles Taylor's mother was Gola from the native tribe, and his father was African-American descent. But this guy, he didn't care about his native roots. He was all about, I'm American and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So given that context,
2000. So 2001 rolls around, and that's
Yeah,
when you're like,
but
your family said it's time to go.
Liberia's war started in 1989.
Right? Yeah, it just kept going. It kept going.
Yeah, yeah.
It
So
didn't
Doe was
stop.
working. So Charles Taylor was working in Doe's government, and Charles Taylor stole some money from Doe's government and ran to the United States. When he ran to the United States, being that Doe was friends with Reagan didn't even like him. You know, Reagan was like, look at this native tribal looking dude. You don't even know his left and right, right?
I'm sure that's not the case with Reagan.
No, I'm kidding. But this is what happened. When Taylor stole money from Liberia's government, which of course was controlled by Doe, and when he ran to America, he was imprisoned by the FBI because Doe told Reagan about what happened in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
He told the U.S. government. I'm guessing at the time it was Reagan, so he told about what happened in Liberia. So Charles Taylor got arrested. Well, here's the thing that Liberians don't understand, because most Liberians don't even know their own history. When Charles Taylor got arrested, from my research, from my conclusion, not what history says, it was not the CIA that released Charles Taylor. It was Liberian organization. I'm gonna tell you something, but that'll blow your mind. Liberian organization in America, right? They run Liberia. Liberia have a government.
Sure.
Liberia have a government, right? But if Liberian American want to take over that country, they can.
Sure. Yeah. That's economics too, because
more money.
The cost of like a big house in Liberia compared to a big house in America, it's got to be significant.
That's right. So so the Liberian organization, I think EULA helped free Charles Taylor. I think they pay his bond or something like that. And when they freed Charles Taylor, this dude went to Mexico. He went through Mexico, and from Mexico he flew to Libya. In Libya, he got his training in Libya, and when he went to Ghana, he got arrested. Then when he crossed the border over to, I think, Sierra Leone, he got beat up in Sierra Leone. From there, this could be a movie, bro. And I don't know why Liberians filmmakers not telling this kind of story. They're telling all kind of trash stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like when he went to Sierra Leone, he got beat up. Which beat his butt. But when he got beat up, bro, he kept grudging in his heart. Like years back, he's going to come back to Sierra Leone. That's why we have Blood Diamond.
Yep. Hey, thanks for expanding all that. I know we have limited time because you have another.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, yeah.
No.
I have like another.
I'm good with it, but I just know you have another commitment after this. So you came to America in 2002 with all this craziness going on in Liberia.
When the war was hot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was a kid. You know, like there's this story. My mother told me. So Charles Taylor, my father, and Charles Taylor goes back. My father grew up in the Americo-Liberian settlement, right? My father was a native dude, but he was raised Americo. That's how his name is Johnson. My family took the name Johnson. So we were like, quote unquote, I wouldn't say Liberian, but we were raised by the African American family. So during the war, when Charles Taylor entered Liberia, Charles Taylor recognized my father at the gate when they were killing people. And he said, "You Johnson? Yeah." He said, "I remember you, Johnson." Okay, doesn't pass. God alone saved my life, bro. Man. And we went to Ivory Coast. After we went to Ivory Coast, we lived in Ivory Coast for a little bit. Then I came to America in the 5th grade. I was the only African dude in my class. And all the girls were like, "He's from Africa?"
That's crazy. That's
what we have to get, that's what people have to go through to come to America. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so crazy. It's so, it's like I said, it's ironic in the sense that that country was founded because of the actions of the Southern slave owners, and let's go make a better life. And then, like I said, in humans in a nutshell, we forget and we see somebody with the same skin color as us.
Yep.
And it goes back to economics.
We forget our past fast. That's what happened. I think the blacks that went to Liberia, they forgot their past.
That's the problem. Yeah.
And it was not all of them that did that, bro. It was just certain group of folks. Because some American Liberians were good folks, man. They're good people. You have the crazy ones. In every race, in every culture, in every nation, there are crazy folks. And you find those folks in Liberia, you find them everywhere. And those were the few ones that did those things. The few ones, some of them had power that did
Yeah.
those. You know, yeah.
Some of them are smart, like Stalin.
Yep.
Crazy guy, super smart, but you
Yep.
know, horrible dictator. And then Idi Amin, probably the only serial killer to ever be in power of a country.
I think
You could say Hitler was crazy in his own right, sure. You know, the worst human to ever live. But
Idi Amin.
Idi Amin, we're talking about a genuine serial killer who would go on the streets at night in a mask just to
Yeah,
kill people.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
And he would chop up his wife. You hear about that? You know, just
That's sad, bro.
he I don't know, understand how he got. And the sad thing about Idi Amin, he lived until he was what, 95? He lived
It's
a
always
full
like that, bro.
life.
It's usually like the young folks that want to change the world, bro. They don't live that long. Like my ideas of what I'm trying to change the world, I might not live that long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I might not live it. It's usually the young folks who trying to change the world. Usually they're cut short because people don't like change. If you study the history of Jesus, same thing. Jesus was not loved in Jerusalem. He was not loved by the Jew. But now they have Christian Jew, the Messianic Jew. But when Jesus was alive, bro, they hated him.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Bob Marley. Bob Marley was not loved in Jamaica. Same thing with Henry Johnson. When I preach about all these things, bro, Liberians don't like me, so now I get threats. You know what I'm saying? But when you die, that's when people want to give you flowers. Oh, this guy was great. This guy was that. But when you're alive, they don't give you flowers, bro.
Yeah, it's a martyr mentality. The whole world, every icon for sure.
So true, man. So true.
We kind of sift through their material or ideas after they're gone. A lot of the time, that's how it is. Kurt Cobain could be kicking it nowadays, and who knows what kind of profound effect he'd have. Biggie Smalls could be here, and
Tupac.
And the crazy thing, you know, Tupac was 26. You know, that's okay,
It's
a
sad,
wise
bro.
man's time. But Biggie Smalls to be 24,
And
sometimes we kind of overlook that because you hear
sad,
this,
bro.
this big voice, this big frame. Nobody really stops and says, like, this kid was 24 years old.
It's sad. And bro, that war that's going on, that's a war still going on among we black folks. You know what I'm saying? So what happened in Liberia was already happening here. You know what I'm saying? So what happened in Liberia should never be blamed on African American or the native of Liberia. It should be blamed on all Liberians. You know what I'm saying? Because that's still happening here right now. In this country, some folks, oh, you're dark skinned, I'm lighter than you, I'm better. That's what's going on in Liberia. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. So I want to pivot to that as another thing.
Yeah.
Skin bleaching. So that's kind of become a thing. I know in Liberia, different African cultures, Caribbean.
Everywhere, man.
I know in India, mothers feed their children white bread. Think like for real, thinking that this might lighten their skin, because if I'm stuck on this cast, the only way to move up is to get lighter. It's fucked up, man. But
it is messed up, man.
The skin bleaching phenomenon that we're mostly with women.
But bro, you got to understand, India, I think that caste system was something made up. But India went through colonialism, colonization from the British. I read somewhere that the British, when they were in India, they created Black Town, darker Indians, and White Town for white folks from England. So if you're growing up in that kind of society where your skin color matters than your character, of course, when your great grandparents grew up, or your father grew up in Liberia, they said pop. When your father grew up, of course, they've been taught that lighter skin is beautiful, lighter skin is better. It's not just in India, brother. It's also in the Philippines. And it's not just in the Philippines, it's also in Liberia. It's not just in Liberia, it's also in Jamaica. Not just in Jamaica, it's also in America. Beyonce, hello. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It comes from the laborer that comes to become the oppressor, because they've been taught the ways of the oppressors. They think the ways of the oppressors is the best thing, so they come to oppress themselves. So in some places in Southeast Asia, because I'm not trying to call countries because I go to Asia all the time. I don't want to get kicked out from the country for any country. But in some countries in Asia, you see that people want to look like the oppressor. I was talking to one of my friends who's I'm not going to call his name. I was talking to one of my friends, and my friend told me that the reason why in Asia So in Asia, originally in Asia, some of these women go after European like light-skinned men because they want their kids to be given greater opportunity to be in the movies. Imagine a darker skinned kid, because I know in Thailand they have folks in Thailand that's dark like me. Folks in the Philippines.
Oh, Cambodia.
Yeah,
Cambodia.
Cambodia. That's dark shade like me. So imagine a darker skinned person growing up in that society, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Which of course they're going to get corrupted some way, somehow, because that's all they see on TV. People were lighter, and you can't blame them for that because that's what they've been taught. You know what I mean?
Isn't it crazy that it's just a burning ball in the sky that causes all these different skin colors? It's literally a fucking burning ball. The closer you get to it, the darker you will be. It's a ball of fire. And here we are as humans.
Man, I
literally changing the air we breathe from wars because of a fucking burning ball in the sky.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy, man.
It's biology. I mean, aliens must look at us and be like, you guys are so fucking stupid. You're over here worrying about that. When there's like real shit. Imagine all that time and effort. Real, like I said, we can go back to the ancient humans, the first humans. They're really dark. But then the people who travel away and then thousands of years later come back, you would think, hey, what are your customs? What are your cultures? Teach me this. You're my long lost relative. Instead, they put a gun to their head and come with me.
Different,
you know.
Because you're different.
That's so stupid. So stupid.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And the sad thing, one of the reasons I created Egner Record, bro, because I believe that the human race can come together through art. That the blacks, the whites, the Asians, we come together through art.
It's already happening. We're already it's a melting pot. I mean, America, say what you want. This this society was an experiment. Yeah. But hey, I mean, look around, dude. Especially here.
It's happening.
It's happening.
My kids, Filipino. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to spread the love in the Philippines for a little bit and take it to Liberia. You know what I mean? Maybe I could be, maybe one day, if I become successful here, I'll probably run for president like Liberia and diversify my country. Because my country is racist, bro. We still have this Negro law, bro. It states that if you cannot become citizen of Liberia unless you're black. How would the country develop if you have that law? Because when the war started, bro, a lot of Liberians left Liberia, and some married to white folks. Some married to like Japanese, Korean, Chinese. How would it go back with their kids? That law alone stopped development. And you have these so-called educated Liberian guys who travel the world, don't know crap. You know what I'm saying? If you look at America, bro, America is diverse. The diversity of America made this country what it is, the most powerful nation on earth. Why can't all the countries, especially Liberia, funded by Americans, why can't they imitate?
Well, they will. Technology's kind of pointing in that direction for sure. Just technology brings us all together, you know.
That's true. That's so true.
In Asia, for sure, like China, you have a 1.5 billion people that look the same. So that's something crazy to try to break out of.
That is. And it's like, if you're growing up in that world, all you see is your own folks. When you get out, you like, what's that? You know what I mean? Like, you know,
because they never diversified. They never, you know, it's sad.
And that's why when some folks say, "Oh, China gonna be the next superpower," I'm like, "What you smoking?" You know what I mean? I don't know what they're smoking. They didn't give me some of that from them smoking. I don't even smoke. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But if China becomes the world superpower, I don't know how it's going to happen. Because in order for you to be superpower, you must first diversify your nation. And America is way ahead than any other nation. If countries can know that, then they can compete with America. Or else, this country is going to be one of the greatest countries for a very, very long time. And that's why I love it here, bro.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of places are on the right track.
And we have our problems. We have our problems, but we have managed to get. I think America been going through a transition state from Donald Trump, the racist, to Biden. You know what I'm saying? And every country have its problems everywhere. but it's not about the problem of the country. It's about the people of the country. Americans are good people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This past election shows that Americans are good people. It's just a few nut jobs that Trump brought out of the closet who was racist. You know what I'm saying? Make America great again. Like, what?
Yeah, something has to change, and I think it's kind of on that way.
Change is coming.
So
Change.
the talk of racism in America.
Yeah.
So what is it like being black in America?
For me, I think black is a state of mind. You black. You know what I'm saying? Black is a state of mind, man. Like Biko from South Africa said, black is a state of mind. Anyone can be black. Black was created through social construct. You know what I mean? White was created through social construct. Filipino was created through social construct. There is no thing such called Filipino. There is nothing called Liberian. There is nothing called American. It was created
boundaries.
by yes. There is nothing such thing as boundaries or borders or passport. All those things were created by men. And when you come to accept men's ideology, then you come to live in a box. You cannot break out. And that's when you find people who are racist. They were born racist. They're gonna die racist because they don't want to break out. And racism is not just practiced by one race. Black folks are racist as well. Same thing with Asian folks are racist. Arab folks are racist. But people don't want to talk about all the racism. They want to talk about the white racism. But racism is everywhere, man. And once you start seeing those things, you come to become liberated and start treating people the way you want to be treated. Know what I mean? But racism in America, the idea of black is just a construct. I don't see myself as black. I see myself as a human being. You know what I mean? I see myself as a human being that deserve love and give love. Deserve attraction and give attraction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A good quote that sticks out to me is Jiddu Krishnamurti, I think from India. He said, "One who can observe without judgment will be the best. That's the highest level of intelligence. One who can observe without judgment."
That's a fact, bro. Because when you impose judgment on others, what about you? Like Christ, like Christian Christ said, in order for you to judge people, you must look yourself in the mirror. That's why Jack Jackson came from a family. Michael Jackson came from like a Jehovah Witness background, and they're big about that mirror thing. In order for you to judge people, you must first look yourself in the mirror. That's why I don't judge nobody, man. I see character more. And when Dr. King talk about the men's character matters, I see character more than people's skin color, man. And you will find some Americans, I don't see skin color. It's okay to see skin color, though.
That's what I was gonna say. It's
okay to teach our kids to see skin color.
It's kind of naive when somebody says I'm colorblind. I don't see skin color. That's one of the most naive.
I was gonna get there.
Say it. You can say I do see it, but like I just said, I observe it.
Yes.
But it is what it is. I mean,
I respect it. I admired it. That's how I teach my kids. I teach my kids to see color. Because color is beautiful. Color should be embraced. Color should be loved. I teach my kids to treat people the way they want to be treated, man. You know what I mean? That's how we should raise our kids, not raise them, that person is black, so they're dangerous, or that person is white, so they're rape. That's all social constructs.
Yeah, I'm just going down the path of enlightenment with doing a lot of meditations and a lot of Buddhism in my life.
Bro, the sad thing though, the media here, they love to play on this idea of race, bro. The media love to stir up the pot.
Well, eventually you have to block that out. I feel like smartphones are bad for our mental health. I feel like social media is bad for our mental health because we didn't grow up with these things. These things haven't been studied by a scientist. Show me one study that followed people around for 20 years who use a smartphone or social media. They don't exist yet.
So true, man.
Just like cigarette use 40, 50 years ago, it was widely accepted. There was no studies. So wait till studies come out that, hey, overuse of a smartphone might cause attention deficit disorder. Or, I feel it too. Like I'll look at my phone a lot and get drawn in.
Yep.
And I feel like I can't focus the way I need to.
technology kind of brought us together, but at the same time, technology kind of disassociate us from dinner tables. You be at a dinner table, you be at a dinner table with your kids. They're over there on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like,
I think I have a recommendation for you. You can go
yeah.
buy it on Amazon. You're gonna
Okay.
laugh when you see it. It's like a gate. It's a gate where you have a key. It's like a plastic gate you put on the table. It's
Okay.
a smartphone cage.
Yeah.
So like with your kids and your wife, you're sitting there having dinner. Go look it up on Amazon after this. It's a plastic cage. So you would take the key, unlock it. Everybody, give me your phone. You put it in the cage, and then you lock it up. Then you have dinner.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
I just heard, Liam, come here.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, race and just all that stuff. Like I said, it's so superficial, but we're so caught up on it. Like me being white in America, I kind of feel that bad burden from the past, from
Yeah.
the select few who messed it up for everybody else, and just
Yeah.
understanding like we have nothing to do with people from the past. We're just offsprings of generations of people. We don't
Yeah, bro.
control any of what happened. All
Mhm.
we can control now is what we do going forward.
That's right. All you can control is yourself. We have control over ourselves. We don't have control over our ancestors. You know what I mean? Like some of our ancestors was rapists. You know what I mean? Like way back.
A lot of them were. That's
Asian,
how we're here.
you know what I'm saying?
We are here from that. Genghis Khan. Okay,
You know what I
Genghis
mean?
Khan would kill a whole village, take all the women,
But
rape
bro,
all the women, and then go to another village and trade the women.
you see? And I think in order for racism to stop in America, we need to start having these uncomfortable conversations. But again, the ones in the privileged class, right? They need to also start talking about it. Because I'm gonna tell you, Dr. King had a dream, bro. He walked and marched and stuff like that. But things will not change unless you have more white American like Biden and like yourself and other people standing up against the racist system. Because when a white brother who's racist and see another white brother standing up against him, like my brother Tim Wise, you know who Tim Wise is, right? You should check him out. Bright white brother, smart.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Check him out. Bright white brother, smart. Or we have people like Tim Wise, you know, talking about these issues. More, you know, more white folks coming up and standing up. Then people are like, okay, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? We need to change it a little bit. But black folks, we black folks just march. We shall overcome, but nothing will not change unless white folks take the fight. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and honestly, white folks have for a long time,
Throughout
just
history,
not enough.
throughout history, yeah. With
But
Dr.
the
King and
march with King and just that whole, wasn't Bernie Sanders
even your
at
boy
that
Bernie,
march?
yeah. Bernie, yeah. Yeah, Bernie, even Bernie. That's why I like Bernie. I thought he was gonna be president, but you know. He's a socialist.
Even when the when George Floyd was murdered a couple days later at the Capitol, you probably drove by it like me, or
Yes.
you went to it
There's a lot of white kids out there.
with coronavirus raging and everything going on. Lot of white folks
Yes.
out
And
there.
that's the America I love seeing. I saw a lot of white kids out there standing up for black folks. And that's how it should be, bro. That's how it should be, man. And that's what makes this country beautiful. Because I'm gonna tell you, because my side hustle, I see a lot of things, right? If I was to write about my experience on my side hustle, you know, I'll write about young white American will change this country. Because sometimes when I interact with young white American, they're usually in an interracial relationship. Oh, their boyfriend is black or their girlfriend is white. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about that race. It's their grandparents that do that. You know what I'm saying? So young, if I was to write, let's say if it's my last day on earth, if I was to write my last note about racism, young Americans will change this country. The generation now, young Americans will change this country, bro. And it's gearing towards that. Biden is president.
Yeah, and Kamala Harris will be soon too, because
next president, hell yeah.
I just don't see. Yeah, I mean, even in this term, it's gonna that stress will get to him, and who's he gonna turn to step up?
Your girl, she gonna step up. Yeah, she gonna step up. Yeah, step up.
If people don't like it, I mean, it's okay. you have freedom of speech. You can you like you said, you can be racist. You can sit up and on your soapbox and say shit. You
It's
just
right.
you
It's
have the
people's right to be racist.
you just don't go out there and do stupid stuff.
Yeah, and start killing people and stuff. That'll make no sense. But I think having those extreme views is part of democracy. You know what I mean? And I'm so happy that where I was born, Liberia, they have this thing called democracy. It's working a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Now you can say whatever about the president, which of course should be everyone's right. And I love that Liberia has been on that path for at least 16 years.
Yeah.
In a democratic state for 16 years. We're doing good. And I encourage you to go visit, bro. We'll get you a Liberian woman, married. Make the world a better place, bro. Get your Liberian sister. They're pretty though. Liberian women are so beautiful. Mm-hmm. They are. Bro, they're one of the best looking women on the continent. I'm not saying this because I'm from Liberia, because I've seen women from everywhere. But Liberian women are the best looking women on the continent.
Yeah, and you get the fufu and the jambalaya. But this is the funny thing about Liberians. You guys, every meat that you have in the fridge goes into the pot. Like literally, like you throw 6 different meats in the pot.
Hey, we love meat, man. Back in the days, bro, like the Chiefs, man, we go hunting. And, you know, the Chiefs, they go hunting. And in the village, one chief, I was listening to my mom, and she said, I think her grandfather and uncle, grand uncle, they created one village, bro. They created one village. Wow. And we became the Gribble tribe, Gribble people. Like you know, like the guy Gribble, the Gribble tribe, we became everybody related to a Gribble person. You know what I mean? So like back in those days, like the Liberian men would go out and go hunt. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When they hunt, they bring the meat. Guess what they tell their wife? Baby, put all that meat in my pot. I still tell my mom, put that meat in my pot, man. Put that meat in my pot. You know what I mean?
There's chicken, there's shrimp, there's pork. What is it? You guys, what else do you guys eat? You got fish. You put the fish in there. The fish with the peanut butter. Right. Yep. You boil up the peanuts.
That's that grumpy soup. I think they call that grumpy soup.
Yeah. So yeah, let's kind of pivot. So with time running out, so some projects coming up. You got Ethno Records, which I'm happy that I created that logo and that brand for you, just to see it kind of grow and blossom how it is now.
Andrew was the one that actually created that Ethno Record label. Now that stuff blowing up in the Philippines, man. Man, thank you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah. So kind of expand on that. What's next on the frontier?
So Ethno Records right now, we working with Wida. Check out Wida, WIDA, Wida. Girl is good. We working with Nika Cole. Nika Cole is good too. They are from the Philippines. And some folks be asking why you don't sound Liberian to your label and stuff like that. We working with Wida, Nika Cole, and D. Chow. So I was going to actually sound this Liberian guy, but I found out he was trying to scam me, so I cut him off. Mm-hmm. I don't like unethical people. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, so those are some artists to look out for. And then the film that I helped write way back in the day, which you put into production. What's the name of it?
Vanity.
Okay, yeah, Vanity. There you go. I thought you might have changed the title, but
Vanity,
what's happening with the process with Vanity?
So on set when I was on the East Coast, like me, I like doing things straight. That's what my mom said. The day I ever run to become president, like Bird's going to change. It's going to be developed because I like straightforward things. And when I know stuff, I like to teach, not act like I know. So when I was on set in Raw Island, I was trying to teach these guys certain things and stuff like that. We fell off, bro. We completed the movie, but we fell off because these guys don't like the truth. When I told them, I'm like, bro, you're breaking the 360-degree rule. You can't shoot like that. They got pissed. And I was trying to coach this other actor. I'm like, bro, you cannot be saying your line like you reciting your line to me. You have to be the character. Like Galina, you must be the character. You must beat the character. So I'm like, you have to beat the character. You have to understand what you're saying and be that person. Don't be you. This is not playboy stuff. This is you're a different person. Be that person. Even on set, bro, I'll give my character a walk. They look at me and say, well, what a man doing again? You know, what are you doing? What is he doing? I'm giving my character a walk. They won't even let me be.
Yeah, the biggest crusher of anything, life in general is ego. Like the quicker we learn to kill ego, things
bro,
not on your side, but from other people not willing to be
learn.
open.
Yes. And I think it didn't kill that little argument. It didn't kill the process, but it didn't kill the process of vanity because vanity is in post production right now. They're editing it. It's already done. They're I think from what I know, they're editing it. So me and those guys, we kind of went through our stuff and stuff like that. But I went out to them because I'm always a bigger person. Wrong or right, I would still apologize because I don't like that drama stuff. I went out in their personal inbox. I was like, guess what, bro? Though this happened, I know y'all wronged me on a certain level, but guess what? I'll forgive y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's something you don't find most, I wouldn't say Liberian, you don't find most of our folks from the continent. You don't do that. And when you do that, they look at you all weird, like, because when you follow with someone in the Liberian setting or a Nigerian or Ghanaian setting, they keep grudge, bro. They keep grudge. And that's what's holding our continent back because we don't know how to forgive each other. Like the guy who wronged me in the Philippines, Bobby Skies, I reached out to him personally. I was like, bro, I forgive you. I forgive you. I spent $10,000. You took away my artist, Janisi. I forgive you. You know what I mean? I don't keep grudge, bro. And people, I read this book. You should read this book. It's called Igaka, Japanese. It talks about the reason why people live long. You should read it. You'll be shocked. I read Igaka. Once I read that book, my life's changed, bro.
Okay.
It's Ikida. I think DAI. Once you read that book, it teaches you a lot of things about life. One thing the author said, the reason why people die soon is because they keep grudge in their heart. Hate for other people.
Yeah.
Hate for other
because it's an energy. It's an energy that circulates through your body.
Hate for other people's success.
Cancers and tons of illnesses are stress related.
It sickness.
You gotta let stuff go. You
have to. That's what makes people live longer when you let stuff go and live carefree. That's how I live my life. I let stuff go, live carefree. Like if I was to meet Bobby Skies, the guy who kind of I think he wronged me in the. If I was to meet him today, bro, we brothers. I got no hate against Bobby, Janice, no one. I'm not here to hate. I'm here to inspire. I'm not here to degrade people. I'm here to uplift people. I'm not here to think I'm better than others, but I'm here to think and learn from other people. Because
exactly.
like King Solomon said, man, a wise man don't know it all. A wise man must learn.
A wise man doesn't know. Yeah, exactly. A raindrop is only as strong as the ocean, right?
Yeah.
One raindrop can't change the ocean.
Like Bruce Lee said, you must be calm like a water. Take a ship like a water. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, a wise man says nothing, or a wise man knows nothing. You know, they don't act like they know anything. Because you should always learn things.
Yep, and a wise man should always teach.
Teach.
But in an African setting, because I want to limit this to Liberia. But in an African setting, I think where we go wrong, we try to kill our wise men. We will go out to like Cornel West.
It's jealousy, man.
Speaking, right? Jealousy. He goes around speaking. If Cornel West was in Africa, you get popped. Like Soyinka, Dr. Wole Soyinka, Nigerian mind, bright man. Wole Soyinka, they be having hard names. Damn. But Wole Soyinka is one of the wisest men in Nigeria. But I read it when I was reading about the dude, he almost got killed. And up to this day, some people don't even like him. But you listen to this brother talk, bro, he's Africa's mind. The dude is wise, very bright. And on the continent, I don't know why we like to kill our wise men. Jealousy. And sometimes jealousy comes from people not valuing education, so they think they're lesser than other people. You know what I'm saying? Like in Liberia, you see that. The educated separate themselves. They don't associate themselves with the lesser educated. And that also created a problem because those guys, when they're educated, they become envious. If I was like in Liberia, let's say go on vacation, I go live, I would always associate myself with people with all people, because I'm not better than no one. Even if I was a millionaire today, I would still hang out with regular Liberian. I'll be like the only Liberian millionaire that wear cheap clothes. You know what I'm saying? Because I would use that money to help better the life of Liberia, and I help better the life or show like flashy thing online, that's why make people go broke, because they want to show off. Money should be used as a tool to help people who need it.
Yeah. This has been a great podcast.
Yeah.
I guess, where do we go from here? I was gonna bring one last thing up.
This was a great talk, man.
Before you go,
when I start talking, I'm going.
No, this is great. So the way I do podcasts, which I don't know, other people do podcasts. I don't plan it, so it's just like, in the spur of the moment, something good will come. Original, natural conversation. That's how you get a good podcast.
That's true.
All these guys who sit there and they write a whole little script and blah blah blah. Trust me, I could sit there and write a great little script, but you wouldn't believe it. It wouldn't be genuine. So I'm not here to be disingenuous. But one last topic. So how would you feel about doing like a documentary? Because that's something we've really never delved into too much.
That would be dope. Hey, I'm in this process of doing a documentary as well. But you would have to travel, man.
No, I'm saying, yeah, eventually, but on the home front.
Like in America?
In Colorado. Yeah, there's tons of different things.
A lot. We can touch on a lot of things. Like we talk about racism and race, bro. We can touch on stuff called race. Try to understand race. The roots of racism in America. We can do that. I know it have been done, but we can do it better. And
I'd be down to do a documentary.
You know what I mean? Bring interracial couples together, help them sit down and make them feel uncomfortable a little bit. How you got with him? Why do your parents love him? You know what I'm saying? Because they go through those things. Interracial couples, like Asian and white or black and
white. I've been there too, man. I've been there too.
Brother. Yeah,
I've been there. I've been deep in the cut, man.
Because you was dating a girl from Dimitri.
Well, yeah. I mean, we went as far as having a giant engagement party with 500 people, and it was just. It's different, but when you you immerse yourself in that, it kind of opens your eyes. Yeah, so a documentary for whatever we could think of. I'm just putting it out here on the podcast.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. Yeah.
So I'm making you accountable on the podcast.
Sure, yeah.
So definitely. We can always go make a film. We have tons of people here that we can reach out to, but I don't want to do that. I'd rather take this. A Zoom and a camera and go make a documentary. I know with COVID, it's
we can do it, bro. I think COVID is the best. We just got to suit up.
Yeah, I'm down to suit up. I mean, I got my stuff right here.
I think as far as that race documentary, bro, we can start here. You already got the mask. We can start here in Colorado and branch out to the South. We can start with interracial couple, ask them some questions, uncomfortable questions, then go to the South, deep South, and meet an interracial couple there and see how you got with him. You know what I'm saying? Do your parents like him? And we can touch on those things and also talk to governors, folks who are serving in the United States government, because not all those folks who are serving in the United States government are not racist. Some of them are crazy racist.
Yeah.
Just talk to them about their views or why they think that way. But being in the government of the United States, people hide it. You know what I'm saying? They will hide it because they want votes.
Yeah, those are some great topics. Something will have to happen. I'm sure people watching and listening to this will have some ideas of their own of what they want to see, but just know that we have the means, we have the resources. We can make a film happen. It's because it's been a while. The last film.
Anything is possible, bro. We live in one of the greatest countries on earth. Still great. I don't care what anyone says about America. This country is the greatest country on earth. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And every country could be great if they follow the model of this country, not the other part we talk about, like the race part, but this country is great, man. And America is also generous, bro. America have helped a lot of countries. India, Nepal, Liberia. Like America pumped billions into Liberia. Well, you know why Liberia's not developed? Because the educated Liberians that come into power, they don't love their country. That's as simple as that. They don't love like me. I didn't grow up in Liberia. I left when I was 5 years old. If I was president, right, go back and become president, America give me money to develop Liberia. What am I gonna do with all that money? Die and leave it back? Still, because this is how I see stuff, bro. People that steal from their countries, they going to hell, man. And I'm not the one to judge, but that's what the Bible says, because Liberia is a Christian nation. You know what I'm saying? If you steal from your country, and in the Bible it says thou shalt not steal, where are you going? At the end of because at the end of our life, your life becomes meaningless because you have not used that money to help people. Yeah. Even stealing and helping people, you stealing and helping is still not right. You got to get your money the right way. That's how like me, I hustle every time. I want to get my money from hustling hard and be, God's made. Because I think no one could be self-made, because you offer to get someone, people must help you.
There you go. Those are some great final thoughts as we wrap up the DKP podcast.
It was a great podcast, brother.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Henry. Hope good luck on this. Do you have another podcast coming up in a couple minutes?
I have an interview for this sales job.
Gotcha. Well, good luck with that. Everybody, kind of keep your eyes and ears open to Ethno Records.
Make sure you also look out for that. I'm working on a film, man. A feature film. It's called Chasing Rainbows.
Watch out for that too. Vanity and a lot of good stuff coming down the pike.
Amen.
Henry, brother.
God
thanks
bless
for
you,
coming
brother.
on, man.
My state, brother. God bless you. All right.